difference between the central BP versus the peripheral blood pressure. Okay, if we put a if we put a arterial line into a dorsalis pedis, and if we put a arterial line into a femoral artery, we will see a difference in the waveforms. And what is this difference? So this is what we will see in the aortic pressure, and this is what we will see in the dorsalis pedis. Okay, so we see here that the systolic pressures have increased, the diastolic pressures have little decreased, so the pulse pressure increases and the waveforms become little narrower. Okay, and the notch, this is the anachrotic notch and this is the dicrotic notch. We will not be able to see anachrotic notch, and the diastolic notch will be also not that great. Okay, so this is what we see in a peripheral pressure. Okay, so anachrotic and dicrotic notches disappear, waveform is narrower, systolic blood and pulse pressure increases, upstrokes become steeper like this, and diastolic and mean pressure little bit decreases. Okay, so mean pressure is also little decrease, not much. And this is happening because the waveform is losing its energy when it's going from center to the peripheral. Okay, so we will see that in the aorta to the dorsalis pedis, this is what is happening. And we see that as systolic blood pressure is increasing, the diastolic pressure is little getting less, and dicrotic notch is little later and less sharp. Here we see the dicrotic notch is very nice. Here we won't see a very clear dicrotic notch. And that is why in light of this, we have to evaluate what is happening in the patient's yeah, uh, physiology. Okay. So what will happen if a patient with a poorly compliant arteries is presented to you, and the patient will be usually hypertensive elderly patient. Okay, so in that the arteries are getting stiff. So once the arteries are getting stiff, then what will happen? The reflection will be increased. Okay, so when this reflection will increase, so this reflection will be shown as a reflected pressure will increase. So we will see a very prominent anachrotic notch in such patients if we put it in the central arteries. Okay, and this anachrotic notch is a normal phenomena. You will see many times if you observe in your ICU or in OT, you will see that anachrotic notches are there, and we often get confused why this is happening. We should have be having a letter like this and this and this. Okay, so this is a anachrotic notch which is normal, and it is because of the reflected wave, and this is the augmented pressure. Okay, so this is the augmented, this is not a true pressure, especially if you put an artery line. So like we see in many of our patients who come to our ICU, and we put an artery line, hypertensive patient, and we see that the systolic blood pressure of that patient is coming out to be 160, and then when we put NIBP in that, the systolic pressure is around 140 only. So why is there is a gap? There is a gap because of the reflected wave, and this reflected wave is being measured by the the arterial line. Okay, so this is the true pressure and this is the reflected pressure, and this is what we see in hypertensive patients. Okay. So what will happen if we see the effect of the systolic vascular resistance? So systolic pressure vascular resistance, if it is increasing or decreasing. So we commonly see the decreased part in patients of sepsis. So once the sepsis is there, so the systemic vascular resistance is decreased. And when the systolic vascular resistance is decreased, what you will see is the reflection and is going down. So once the reflection is going down, you will see that the dicrotic notch is very much reduced. Okay, and once if you put a patient NORAD, you will see that this dicrotic notch has increased. Okay, so this is what we see in SVR. So if a patient is put on an arterial line in such a situation, this is the pressure wave waveform you will see. The diastolic pressure will be low and the dicrotic notch will be low. This is the effect of the volume status. So volume status, again, when the volume is low, the reflection is very much less and it is very much delayed. So you will see that this is a normal volumic waveform, and in a hypovolemic, it's extremely like a patient who has had trauma, hemorrhagic shock, you will see a double waveform like this. So why is this double waveform? Where is the dicrotic notch if it has gone? So, and the artery line will show heart rate double of the normal ECG heart rate. So this is happening because of the hypovolemia. So in hypovolemia, this reflected wave is damped and it is very delayed. Okay, that is why this is the forward wave and this is the reflected wave, and both have become separate. Okay, so in extreme hypovolemic patient, you will see such scenario. Okay, so just by looking at the arterial waveforms, you can see that this patient is hypovolemic, this patient is having low SVR, this patient is having hypertension. This is in the aortic regurgitation. In aortic regurgitation, we will see a widened pulse pressure. This you have to remember. You will see small indistinct incisura and steep systolic decline. Whereas in aortic stenosis, the pulse pressure will be narrowed. Okay, because the ejection coming out from the heart is very low. The volume of the blood which is coming out is very low, so pulse pressure will be reduced. In HOCM, you will see that because of obstruction, you will see two systolic pressures. One is the normal one, and second is because of the obstruction. So you will have a double systolic peaks. And the second systolic peak is, you can just imagine that some might be HOCM in that. Okay, so let's see some questions here and try to answer them. So as you move from the central aorta to the more peripheral sites like the radial artery, how does the arterial waveform typically change in a healthy adult? So we have already discussed that. So once we go from periphery to from central to periphery, our waveform increases in size. The systolic increases, the diastolic decreases. Okay, so both systolic and diastolic become identical to central aortic pressure. No, it is not there. Mean arterial pressure falls significantly while systolic remains unchanged. So we have seen that systolic increases. So this is also not true. And usually the mean arterial pressure doesn't change much. Systolic increases, diastolic decreases. Option C, systolic pressure increases and diastolic pressure decreases, widening pulse pressure. Yes, definitely this happens. Okay. And systolic pressure decreases and diastolic pressure increases, narrowing pulse pressure. It doesn't happen like that. Okay, so this is what we see, that the SVP increases and there is diastolic blood pressure which is decreasing. Option C is the correct answer. Another question, which change in the arterial line waveform is most consistent with an under-damped system? We'll be discussing about damping and under-damping. Okay, but since we have seen the question here, we'll try to answer it. So damping is that once the what should be the normal aortic waveform, it is getting damped. Okay, so systole is getting decreased, diastole is getting increased. Okay, so this is damping. And under-damping is whatever is the waveform, it is increasing. Okay. So I think it is there. Try to answer it here. Yeah. So since the question has come, so we'll go for the dynamic response, which is a fast flush test, and this is what is happening. Okay, so this is arterial waveform which is there. So once we put a pressure bag and we do a fast flush test, so we are putting the pressure of the bag which is there, and this high pressure which is around 250 to 300, this will flush the whole system, and then we lose that fast flush and it will cause a little ringing in the system. So if this ringing is around 2 to 3, that is a normal damping system. If it is 1 or no one is there, then it is over damped. That means the damping is not correct. And if it is more than 3, that means under damping is there. And what will happen? So in the damped system, you will see that the arterial waveforms are very narrow, and in the under damped system, you will see that the arterial waveform is like that. Very multiple, you will see multiple artifacts, and the systolic pressure is very high, diastolic pressure is very low, and this is under damping. Okay, multiple rigging, more than 2 is the fast flush test you see, and this is what is under damping.